You are in the right place to study shirring, gathering, smocking, and ruching in fashion design. Let's explore the differences between all of those techniques, and I'll show you how to draw those fashion techniques through the fashion design book. Just like in the previous video about pleats and tucks, shirring, gathering, and smocking are techniques that improve the fit of garments. Additionally, they can also change the silhouette. So if you didn't watch that previous video, make sure you watch that one before this one. So what is the difference between gathering, shirring, smocking, and ruching? Let's dive right into each different method. Many people will intermix the different terminology, and generally the end result of many of them look similar or even the same. But when we get down to the technical part of things, let's discuss the differences between them. Gathering is a technique where a piece of fabric is reduced together to create a full effect. Most often, the gathering comes out from the seam, and gathering often does not stretch. So traditionally, gathering means that we are reducing the fabric. We do a stitch line or multiple stitch lines, and we pull one of the threads to create the fullness. Now, this is a ruffle that's been created, but we could also use gathering inside waistbands, at sleeve cuff openings, and throughout the garments. Additionally, you might have a little bit of gathering when one fabric has to stretch to fit into the other fabric along the seam. Then when it relaxes, the relaxation of it creates some gathering. Shirring is a technique that often is referred to as smocking, but they're different. Shirring is created through an elastic thread, and it's often done in multiple rows. Shirring looks really the same as gathering, but it was created because there's an elastic stitch. This is an elastic thread on the back side, and that is what creates the shirring. So shirring can be stretchable. Gathering can happen because of elastic, like in a waistband of a pair of pants, but here it's really an elastic thread. So this is shirring. So here we have this example of a style that has shirring from elastic stitching, just like this. And then we have some gathering that's probably fixed, meaning it probably doesn't stretch like this. And then we have an elastic band at the cuff. The elastic band is going to be inside of the cuff, and that's going to actually create the gathering effect. So this is often why the words gathering and shirring are interchangeable, because it is pretty technical, but the look of both of them gives the same appearance. Smocking is often used in very traditional clothing, and it can include different embroideries. Those embroideries hold those folds of the fabric in place, and then those folds create the fullness, which looks similar to gathering or shirring. Now let's talk about ruching. Ruching is a technique in which the fabric is gathered or reduced, and it's often done in different parts of the garment on both ends. So if we think of a gown that might have a ruched top, it's stitched into seams on one end and the other end. This creates a ruched effect. If you're enjoying this video, I would love it if you liked it and subscribed so that this spreads to more people. I really appreciate it. Now I want to get into drawing these techniques. Now, instead of just watching me draw, I want you to pull out your pencil and paper and the fashion design book and go through these steps with me. Now in the fashion design book, you're going to find the types of gathering and shirring and how they're actually created and what they look like close up. But to really see how to draw it, let's look throughout the book and look at some of the styled images. So we can see that we have lots of different images in here. This has lots of gathering, but this would actually be considered ruching because it's tightly fitted across the body and there's gathering on both sides. We'd also consider something like this ruched because it's quite tight and fitted. Then we have other gathering options here. So let's go ahead and start drawing any of these styles to kind of get a feeling for how to draw it. And we're going to do this one freehand. We're not going to use the tracing method. Of course, you could use the tracing method if you wanted to, but I want to go ahead and just have something freehand with the gathering effect. We're going to follow along here with this blouson image, and I just want you to freehand sketch what it looks like as close as you can. It doesn't have to be exact and it shouldn't be exact, but I want you to just have fun with the ruching. And we just do lots of little squiggly lines and just have fun with it. This is like the freehand. Let's get it looking fun, looking nice. And then we can also do a sleeve in there as well. So this is really a lot of fun to do. You just really have fun with it. Keep playing around, and then let's maybe draw a skirt. Some gathering up there, a little bit here. All right, let's take a look at this one. Let's just have fun with it. No croquis this time. So we'll just freehand this one. Let's add a little bit more fullness to the bottom here to kind of add a little bit of more gathering in here. And we're just doing lots of little zigzags here. We're going to practice also our ruffles coming up in the next videos. This is going to be lots of fun. If you haven't gotten to the ruffles yet, don't worry about it. We'll get to that soon. So that is really gathering. Just really practice that little zigzags several times. And if you just have a couple in a sleeve. All right, that was a fun one. Not perfect, but that's what practicing is supposed to be. It's supposed to just have fun with it. Get the hand moving and rolling, and that will get you geared up to keep going forward with the step instead of tracing. It will move you onto the referencing instead. I hope you're enjoying this wonderful video series, all linked through the QR codes in the fashion design book. This is such a fun course and I'm really enjoying it. I hope you are too. In case you don't have the fashion design book, you can find it on Amazon and most online book retail stores or through the link in the description below. I'm Gina Renee and I teach online pattern making and design courses so that you can design and sew clothes you love that fit. If you've enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.